Hello, and welcome to another show of my journey from wrongfully accused to success. There's things we all think about later in life. I know I'm not alone because I've heard other people saying the same thing. As we get older, we lean toward and think that we wish we did more for our parents when we were still at home, for all the things that they were doing for us that we just took for granted. I mean, just little things like cut the grass without being asked, rake the yard, clean the yard. If you got like around here where I was born and raised, we had pine trees on top of pine trees, and pine cones everywhere. Just little things like, on the weekend, you see the yard needs to be raked, just go out there and rake it, or cut the grass, sweep the carport, clean the car, go in there and do the dishes, unless you had a dishwasher, but still you can do that, Take the dishes and put them in the dishwasher, clean them, wash them, and dry them and put them up. Just the little things that we wish that we did more of while we were still living with our parents. Because what the parents did for us was priceless. And after you get older and you have kids of your own, you start to realize that even more. Regardless how much that you helped around the house, we all will think that I wish I did more. We couldn't do enough to pay back for all the things that they did for us while we were still living under their roof. I'm talking about any little thing that you know that you were good at, that you can help with, even if it's just taking out the trash. You know when trash day is, take it out day before, the night before. If you parents, especially if your father gets up in the morning and goes to work, you know what he loves to have for breakfast. Get up a little earlier before you have to go to school and cook breakfast for not just yourself, but your father, and have breakfast together, because they won't be with you forever. The moments that you have together, don't take them for granted. I tried my best when I was still living at home to do all I can, sweep the carport, clean out the gutters and stuff. But it was just never enough. We can never do enough for what parents do for us. And I can see that in my kids as well. They always trying to do something to help. And I keep telling them, oh, you don't need to help. It's okay. But they insist of helping. And they won't stop helping. It's just the way we raised the kids. Try to give them a better life than we had when we were growing up. Even though we had a wonderful life, but we still want our kids to have even a better life than that. Things can go wrong regardless how well you are raised, how well behaved you are, how loyal you are to others. There's always something that can come along and just throw a monkey wrench into all that you're doing, just like it did me. Had my kids sitting home doing what a father's supposed to be doing, providing for the family. Then all of a sudden, life turned for the worst. I was falsely accused of something that I wouldn't even think about doing, because it was the way that I was raised. That's something that's unthinkable of even thinking of it. Not doing it, but not even thinking about doing it. It floored me and so many other people, like, how can they even think that you would do a thing like that? Now, of course, we have these bozo clowns that's in this world that, oh, I thought there was something going on. Yeah, blow it out your backside. And them people, everyone that I heard that was talking that way, I had a chat with them after it was all over with. Put them in their place. Nicely, though. They didn't like it. And if they don't ever speak to me again, fine. That's just one less headache I have to deal with in my life. I don't want people like that in my life anyway. Try to be acting like they're your buddy, they do anything for you and all, but soon as you get falsely accused of something, all the tables turn. They are not there to help you. They want to crucify you from sun up to sundown. But they're the ones going to have to answer for that, not me. The sad part about that, some of them actually went to the same church that I went to. They know what right and wrong is. They know what kind of person I am. And for them to have the audacity to even remotely think that I would even do something like that tells me a lot of what kind of person they really are. They say and act like a goody two-shoe to make them look good into the public. But when it boils down to the facts of exactly what kind of person they are within, their true colors got shown from their stupidity. That's all on them. I'm not mad at them. I'm not angry at them. If they need help, yes, I'll help them because that's the kind of person I am. I actually had one to call on me like 5-6 years after I got out of there and proven that what actually happened and it wasn't me at all. They said, I need something done, but I was reluctant to call on you because I know you can help me in this situation. But after the way I treated you while you were there in custody, when you didn't do anything wrong, and I should have known that you didn't do anything wrong because I've known you since you were knee high to a grasshopper, know your parents, know how they raised you and all, and I did not present myself accordingly to the way I should have, nor the way the Bible says I should. And they talked for like an hour and a half apologizing, which to this day, I accept their apology. You know, everybody's human. Everybody makes mistakes. And they asked me, to help them in a certain situation they had. And I, gladly helped them and helped them through what they needed and got them through it. And they appreciated it. So we have to be true to ourselves of what kind of person that we really are. Because if you try to act like you're somebody or some other kind of person, Your true self will eventually come out and people will know it and they will see it. And it's too late then. But don't try to put up a show. Don't try to sugarcoat the situation. Be honest. Tell the people in a nice way how you feel about certain things or whatever, or you know what kind of person they are, and you know what you're supposed to do. You try to help. If you can't help, well, you let them know that. But don't put them down and act like they actually are guilty of something that you know good and well, that the way they were raised and the way their parents are and everything and the way they present themselves and all is not anything near what they are getting accused of. You're making yourself look like the bad one, all by yourself. I did have a few people that they saw me through and through, day to day, while I was there. Their true colors of kindness, the kind of person they really were and still are till today. And they still, if I need any help or just somebody to sit down and talk with about whatever, I know I can call on that person and rely on that person just to sit down over a cup of coffee and talk about whatever that's on my mind, just to have some dialogue of feedback, relief of what is bouncing around between my ears there in my brain that just seems to be not going away, not leaving me alone. And the only way I see that I can get rid of it is talk it over with somebody. It's great to have them kind of people in your life that you can just go to them and say, hey, can we sit down and chat? I got a few things I want to talk about and ask you about and get your opinion and what you think about it. And I guarantee certain ones that I know, if I ask that, every time they say, sure, when is it convenient for you to, for us to sit down? And then you got some that tries to act like they'll help you, but as soon as you go try to ask them the exact same question, well, I don't have time, maybe next weekend. Well, by golly, next weekend never gets here. At least not on their clock. That's just the way it is. And you learn in life, as time goes by, who your friends really are. Your true friends, not just ones that say they are your friends. The ones that are truly loyal to your needs when you need it, not when it's convenient for them. Fathers want their kids to have a better life than they did. Like I said, regardless how wonderful their life may have been growing up, they want their kids to have even a better life than that. That's just natural. And I can see where fathers are needed in a home. A mother and a father. Male and female. Let's get that out of the way. There is a difference. It makes a difference in a home. Can't have two. I know some people may be mad at me of saying this, but you can't have two mothers or two fathers. You got to have one of each. And God only makes them in one way. You can't change it after. You can hate me and criticize me all you want in the comments below. I don't care. You are what you born as. You can try to change what you are, you think you are. Well, you need something fixed up here if you're trying to change something that God put together. That's out of the way. Say what you want. That's just the way it is. But I can see where fathers need to be in the home. Structure, discipline. Because I can see parents struggling. Father is not in the home because maybe works long hours and not getting home before the kids go to bed and leaving almost before the kids get up to go to school the next day. So pretty much the kids don't get to see the father. And they need that. I can see kids in that situation, pretty much regardless of what age. I've seen them from 3 or 4 years of age, temper tantrums, the terrible twos. It's some of it is dealing with the father or one of the parents not being there. It takes two to make a family. I could see the kids taking it out on the other parent that's not there, not behaving, outbursts because they're mad, they're upset. They don't come out and say, "Where's Daddy at?" But they miss their father, they miss their mother if it's the roles are other way around. Because I could see when the kids do get to see the father, how happy and joyful their eyes just light up, full of energy. And that can be fathers are, not at home because long hours or the father has, the kind of work he has causes him to travel a lot. In a way, it's not really 100% father's fault because the job he's got, but the other percent, it is the father's fault because the job he chose to have. Just because you got a job and it takes you away from work, take you away from home, don't mean, well, it's the job's fault. No, it's your fault too because you're the one that chose that profession and you knew it can cause you to work late hours or to travel away from your family from days on. It can be, a day or a couple days or a week at a time or a month at a time. And you knew that it was potential of that happening. So part of it is the individual's fault, not just the job keeps me traveling. Well, you chose that job, so it's partially your fault too. That's just the way it is. I know that people are going to be mad at me saying that. Some people will, but that's the kind of people that really don't do what they're supposed to do. But that's just the way it is. But I figured in the past, I tried to make these videos without really expressing how I feel about certain topics. Kind of sugarcoat it, which that's not a good thing to do. And that's not what I want to do. I want to be upfront exactly how I feel about it. Now, everything I say is my opinion. Now, of course, some of it I've done research and it's actually fact, but you could say whatever you want in the comment. Be nice about it. Because if you're not, even though this is YouTube, I do have the authority to say delete and not even post your comment, because all comments on this channel is held until my approval. So you can say all the bad words and criticize and threats and everything, but the public will never get to see it nor hear about it because it's just going to be deleted. That's me taking control of me and my channel, my life. I don't want to hear any of that BS. That's just the way it is. If you don't like it, flip the channel. It's like some of them gig drivers that went on strike or protest. I don't know what category to put it in, if either. Butt hurt babies. I don't know. Think they're going to make a change and they don't know how to be a entrepreneur or a independent contractor. They want something for nothing. And if you want to see more of me talking about that, which I'm not going to do here, look up my channel Entrepreneur Box here on YouTube and look at my Sunday shows that come on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some of them will be live. Some of them will be pre-recorded. The one I just recorded today, in about 30 minutes, it will be gone live. It's a little bit over an hour long. So hopefully you get over there and enjoy it. Leave your comments. And again, all them comments are held as well. So you're not going to get to say anything to the public about what you see there unless I approve it. So you can say what you want, but if you want it public, be kind and be respectful on any of my content anywhere I put. Like in the days when I was raised up, my childhood, we had it like kids can be out on their bike riding around, and the only thing the parents would say is be home before the street lights come on. So if you ever hear anybody say, well, had to be home before the street lights came on, now you know. That's exactly what it means. Going out roundabout, riding around the neighborhood and everything, you need to be home before the street lights come on. It's too dark to be out. And believe me, parents will keep an eye out on them street lights to see when they actually come on. If you're not home within 15, 20 minutes after they come on, you may be in trouble. So pretty much we figured, when that breaking line was it 15 minutes, 20 minutes? So we try to get home at least no later than 10 minutes after the street light came on. So we wouldn't go no further than 10 minutes away from the house. So we know if we see the street lights come on, we got enough time to get home. I mean, we didn't get whippings or punished or anything, but we got them dirty looks and some restriction, like we go out and say, okay, the lights came on and say 8 o'clock. The next night we go out riding around, when it starts getting dark. You need to be home by 6, 2 hours before the street lights came home. That's the punishment. We didn't like it. After we figured that out, we didn't go that far from home. If we did, we want to be sure we had that amount of time. The time it takes to ride back home from where we're at would be no more than 10 minutes after the lights come on. And fathers want their kids, like I said, to have a better life than they had, regardless how wonderful their life might have been growing up. And even to this day, don't matter how old my kids get, I still try to give them a better life than I had when I was growing up. I try to make it as easy as possible for them. Try to guide them in the right direction so they can take care of themselves, knowing the resources and things they can do if they get in a sticky situation, so they can raise their kids even better than they were raised, and so on. Of course, we're all going to make mistakes. We're not going to be a perfect parent. We're human. But try to treat everyone, regardless if they're your kids or not, even if you don't have any kids and not planning on having any kids. Treat all the other kids and all the other people in your life as if you want them to have a better life than you. So if we be kind to other people, and if everybody done that, then we all can get along. If your opinion is different from mine, so be it. If one says, "Oh, I don't like Republicans," well, I don't like Democrats, whatever it may be. Well, I'm a Democrat and I'll never vote a Republican. Well, your friend might say I'm a Republican and blank, 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 blank to the Democrat side. But you still can get along. It's not like if my way of living, my thoughts is not the way you think, well, we can't be friends. Well, if anybody had told me that, well, that person and I will not be friends because that's a bunch of BS. That's a self centered, uptight, no good kind of person, the way they are thinking. If it's my way or the highway, well, it's not your way, so hit the highway and get out of my life. I don't want your negativity in mine. I have a wonderful life, wonderful kids, wonderful environment of friends and everything. And I don't want you come in and screw it all up. So get the out of it. You don't like it? Well, you can turn about face and leave just as fast as you got here. I don't have time for negativity in my life. I just don't. And even like the clients I have in my hobby of doing the internet, some of them, just a handful, since I've started the hobby, wanted to be pushy, pushy, pushy. Like I want this, I want that, or this ain't working. This is not working like it's supposed to. And one thing they always nag, 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 nag. Well, thing is that they don't have service anymore because I just not want to listen to it. They said, "Well, I'm not going to pay the bill." I said, "Fine, if you don't pay the bill, wake up on the 16th and you don't have internet because that's when it turns off." And if it's not paid by the end of the month, I just go take the equipment out, and I won't lose no sleep over it. I don't have time for that negativity. It's just life is too short. I'm going to be 58 this year. I don't feel it. Thank the Lord that I don't feel like a 58-year-old. 2 months, April, I'll be 58. 2 years knocking on the back of the door of 60. I got my hat to make me kind of blend in. But that is what I want to talk about in this episode of my journey from wrongfully accused to success. That's just my notes that I write to keep me on track for the show. I got me some books. I think I brought 10 of them, books like this, just regular composition books. Get it turned right, there we go. And it's 100 pages and just blank pages. And anytime a thought, an idea, something to talk about, rather it's on Entrepreneur, podcast, this channel, live radio, my live radio show, my live podcast, 30-minute podcast. And if you don't know where all they are, look in the description and you can find the links to all where I actually put content at. I have 2 things I do on Sunday. I have the Little Cabin, which is a live radio show. Then I do my show on YouTube on Entrepreneur Box. Then I do the book story here on Mondays. And Tuesday I do my pre-recorded podcast, Rise and Grind, on Zeno. Then I have the coffee chat on Mixler, which is a live 30-minute broadcast. And you have to have the app. Well, no, they used to, but now you can actually watch it on live, actually, and listen to it on live on the computer now. It used to, you have to have the app, but they changed it. But either way, hopefully you go get all the links and save them and follow me and support me if you can, so I can actually continue this and spread my wings even further, because I've been looking into maybe have a show on a radio. Don't know if that's going to be possible. Well, like they say, anything's possible as long as you really want it bad enough, put the effort in it. So that may be somewhere down the line that I'll actually have this show be audio only, of course, but have it on a radio somewhere. And I don't know if I want to go AM, FM, or shortwave radio, which would broaden my audience tremendously. I have to check and see the cost, location of, and what's the process of actually doing that. But yeah, that's what I got these for. These were 99 cents a piece. I saw them on Walmart's site, and I'm like, got to go get me some of them, because what I have been doing, which was working out okay, is I got this big 3-inch spiral book with notebook paper. It's 700 pages in there. But the thing about that is trying to lug that around all the time, and when I get an idea and just jot it down, that's when one of these come in handy. I can put it here on the first page, like the Little Cabin, and then the next page, the next show, next page, next show, whatever. And whenever I get an idea that I want on this podcast, say about, journey from wrongfully accused to success, something I can talk about that happened in that time, because me sitting there trying to think what happened, what can I come up, ideas will come to me like flashbacks of events that actually happened while I was there for them 512, 13 days. And when I get back here in the studio, I can't quite remember sometimes exactly how I wanted to present that. But if I have the book with me, I can just open it up, make notes, and then when I get in the studio, open it up, transfer it to the big book for the show that I'm getting ready to record or go live, and have it here so I won't miss anything that I want to talk about. So that is helping me to make more content, because some of the ideas I said, man, that would be a good idea. I'll put that in my next show. I have it in my mind exactly how I want to talk about it, what highlights of it I want to talk about. And when I get back to the studio, I remember all the ideas, and the highlights are just how I want it to, what format, how I want to put it together. So I'm going to see if this, and so far it has, I've been using it. And as you see this week, looks like I'm going to hit every note. And when I say a note, that means every show is going to be produced. Every podcast, every live radio show, every live podcast is actually going to get done this week because of this 99-cent book. I mean, here it is on, like, this show is pre-recorded, and this is Sunday the 18th, about 8:42 p.m. And I'm recording it, so I can actually upload it and schedule it to go public on Monday. That way I have more free time on Monday to possibly make the Tuesday pre-recorded podcast, and possibly make the YouTube podcast where I teach people how and what to put together of how to have their own WISP, wireless internet service provider business. I need to get back on it. I only got like 6 episodes in there, and I just hadn't got it a pattern, haven't got a thing that's organized that just works smoothly. But I think this is going to actually work. Cross all fingers. But that's all I got to say in discuss in this episode of my journey from wrongfully accused to success. If you are ever falsely accused of anything by anyone, don't let it get to you. Stand up for what you know the truth is, because you are the only one that 100% knows if you're guilty or not of what you're getting accused of. People can say, people can make up, people can twist and turn and make any accusation or put something together to make you look guilty of it. Oh, he done this, and then he done that, and he done this and that. So it makes you like, yeah, there's a pattern. But if you didn't do it, don't say you did it, and stand up for yourself. Sometimes it takes time to get it across and be victorious in proving that you are being falsely accused. We see it all the time. People released from jail 12, 15 years later and found out that they were innocent all this time because they found the person or the people that actually committed the crime. That don't make it any easier for the person that was wrongfully accused. It's going to be hard for them, after being falsely accused, to be successful. But it's not impossible. But I cannot even though I was in there in the county jail for 500 some days, and then released and said, "We found out you didn't do it. We found out actually what happened." Even though I kept telling them, every week what happened, but that's like, knocking on wood, somebody's head. Uh, they just didn't want to listen. They just want to put another notch in their belt, in their uh, pistol grip, whatever. I cannot imagine what it would be like sitting in there for 10, 12, 15 years. And then, I'm sorry, we found that you did not do the crime that you've been convicted of. We found the ones that actually did it. We writing up your papers and you can go home. Like, there's nothing to it. I don't know if I would jump for joy or ask somebody to pinch me and let me know that I'm not dreaming, or jump out there and beat the you know what out of them. I don't know which one I would do. Maybe I'd do all. Maybe, hey, pinch me. Yeah, you're not dreaming. Jump for joy and then jump out and beat the heck out of them. Do them all. It was hard enough for me sitting there for only 512 days, knowing I was innocent. But I couldn't get anybody besides my attorney to believe what the facts are. That DA just kept on being stupid, ignorant, hard headed, and just trying to have another win. Well, I'm sorry, you lost this one. And I would sit there for another 512 days if I had to fight and prove my innocence. I'm just glad that I had things in place over the previous years that I put together that everybody at home would be taken care of for years to come while I sit there and prove my innocence. I did things in the past that would financially help them get through for years to come. All they had to do is bring me some papers and I can sign off and they can cash out and just keep on going until I get back home. I'm just glad I didn't have to touch any of that. Life can turn 180 degrees at any given time. You never know. Falsely accused of something, uh, misidentity, accuse you of being somebody that you're really not, saying, yeah, I saw that person there, but you really wasn't there. You just looked like close to the person that actually did it. Whatever it may be. If you didn't do it, say you didn't do it, stick with it, and the truth will eventually come out. It may be a month, maybe half a year, maybe a year, year and a half, decade or two. I've seen it where somebody got accused of something when he was 22 and he didn't get out until he was 75 because they found that some of the evidence was tampered with that made that person look guilty because they got better technology to be able to analyze the evidence even more to tell that it was tampered with. Didn't need the technology, just need the person that screwed it up not screwing it up in the first place, and he would have been not found guilty of something he didn't do. But like I said, life can turn at any time. It can happen to the best of us. Don't say or think, oh, that'll never happen to me. It can. I hope it don't. God, I hope it don't happen. But it's going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen in this world. Not just the states, in the U.S., it's going to happen everywhere in this world because we're human. We make mistakes. Some people make mistakes accidentally. Some people make it on purpose to get back at somebody. Just don't give up. If you're innocent, stick to your innocence. Stand up to your innocence, regardless how long it takes. Because if I can be on a journey from being wrongfully accused and be back to success, anybody can. Some will have to fight less than I did. Some would have to fight extremely more than I did. But either way, you win at the end. Thank you for listening to this episode here, this video. And I'm going to try my best to get a video up every week. Hopefully that this is going to make that happen, because I've had many ideas cross my mind that it's just like our childhood. We can be talking to somebody and something they say or certain smell in that certain area will trigger a memory of our childhood. Some kind of car that goes by or some kind of bicycle somebody is riding. Oh man, look at that old bicycle there, man. It's got a banana seat. I used to have one like that. Banana seats, you don't even see them anymore. But when you see one, it brings so many memories of your childhood because you had one, and then it just triggers another memory and another memory. What you did on the bicycle, who you with that, riding along with that bicycle, who you rode on the back of the banana seat because it's big enough for two people to ride. Where did you go riding? Who did you go see? It just so many, and that's why I got this book. So when something is triggered of a memory of that within that 512 days or in my childhood that I can relate to the 512 days, it'll be on the book. So then I can translate it here or in my podcast. So look in the description below this video, find all the links, and I hopefully that you will give back some feedback. Consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the like, subscribe, and share the channel. And I will see you in the next video. Whether it's going to be on this channel or some other channel that you're going to start following or podcast. Until then, take care and have a wonderful day wherever you may be, day or night.